I used to love Voivod, I guess. I guess that's not an indie band.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's bands like there's bands that are like really good friends of ours too that we really support each other and they support us. Like the Mongols out of Montreal, Come On out of Toronto, the Get Down in Edmonton. I mean, we definitely have this community of friends that play in like-minded bands, like Iron Giant in the East Coast, like out of Moncton.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we all show up to their shows when they come to Montreal. Like, PJ usually books our East Coast section of Canada.
Right.
And Ian from Come On was in our band for a long time, and beyond that, we toured a lot with Katie when she was in Nashville Pussy.
Right.
So, we have like kind of deep roots with a lot of Canadian rock independent bands, underground rock bands.
Okay. All right. Now, when you guys had your recent album submitted to Metal Observer, I don't know if you've read that review, but he was saying that album might be able to cross over into some metal purists. I mean, what's your take on that kind of review?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting them mixed up because we've been reviewing on two Metal Observer and Metal Universe.
Okay.
And I think both, was this the one that was like, this is not a metal record, but you will like this record?
That's right.
Yeah, we were really, that was one of our favorite reviews, actually, because I don't think it is a metal, it isn't a metal record. Like, and the guy kind of nailed that right on the thing, but it's a very aggressive record.
Yeah.
And if it's a hard record to pin down exactly what kind of music it is, then I think as an artist, that's pretty huge compliment. We all listen to metal. At least three of us are, really like metal a lot, but we realize what we do isn't metal. I mean, we go to metals, we know what metal is.
Yeah.
What we do is not necessarily that.
Yeah.
But for metal people to respond to it, and at our shows, a lot of metal dudes show up, and it's kind of cool because a lot of these metal dudes don't know maybe the proto-metal bands like Sir Lord Baltimore or, bands before Judas Priest and stuff. And, especially John, our guitar player, is like really into Black Sabbath era kind of bands.
Yeah.
And, really obscure, heavy psych bands.
Yeah.
And hopefully kids are into metal will be able to expand. I mean, metal is such a huge word right now. You have bands like ISIS, changing the face of metal, and then you've got bands like 3 Inches of Blood who are playing the more traditional style kind of metal. It's such a huge thing. But then beyond that, if kids can find the Stooges and MC5, which were definitely, I think, an influence on metal, before the new wave of British metal and stuff like that, then that's totally cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much a heavy rock band.
Yeah.
I guess, but, a lot of people don't know who MC5 and the Stooges are, who are kind of our more direct influences, I would say.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, you want to finish off?
No, and if kids are be able to dig in, to stuff like that. And I mean, there's other elements, non-metal elements to our music that if kids can pick up on, I think that's awesome. And it's a big compliment that metal people have taken to the record. Admitting it's not a metal record. That's a totally cool thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, last question is, with being signed to a label like Signed by Force, do you think that Canada needed the kind of label that Signed by Force is?
Completely.
Yeah.
I think there's really four signing. There's 3 records out now, so I guess I'll just talk about that. But there's some other people that have just